Meanwhile, the Department of Home Affairs has announced a massive 6,500% increase in the cost charged to companies for verifying identities against the National Population Register, citing unsustainable underpricing that has crippled its systems and threatened national security. TymeBank co-founder Coen Jonker has written an open letter to the Minister of Home Affairs, Leon Schreiber, calling on him to reverse the catastrophic identity verification fee hike as it threatens financial inclusion, digital transformation and national compliance efforts. He joins us now to unpack the impact of this decision. Thank you so much for your time, Coen. Well, firstly, just talk to us about the significance, effectiveness and efficiency of the ID verification system.
Inati, yes, thank you for speaking to me. This ID verification system is actually very important to a country and very important for digital transformation and financial inclusion because this is the sort of first of three pieces of key infrastructure needed to build an inclusive economy. So the second one is free real-time payments. And the third one is an open banking regulatory system that allows people access to their own financial data so that they can use that to shop for the best options in the market. So this is absolutely key. And it's key that a government does two things. First is the quality of the service must be good.
Yeah.
Our quality of service is very poor at the moment. By the minister's own admission, it is down half the time. It should be up more than 99% of the time. And then secondly, it must be affordable.
Yeah.
Now, so far on that front, the country has done well. We were one of the most inclusively priced countries in the world. But with this price increase, we go from the most inclusively to double as expensive as the most expensive peer group countries. So we've gone from the one end of the spectrum way out to the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, Coen, the Minister of Home Affairs says that companies that use this system have been underpriced for years and that the cost to the department for providing it is above the prices charged and that the new price is also right for the upgrade to the system. I think in an article that I read, he said that now they're working on the downtime to be less than 1%, or that's come from tests that have been done. In your view, what would be an appropriate approach to pricing here?
Yes, so the way we would think about it is that there are two aspects to the price. The one is infrastructure, and the other one is the variable cost of the actual database lookup.
Yeah.
Now, the variable cost is actually a fraction of a cent. So that is not very and should not be very expensive. But we think it's fair to say that people who use the system should contribute to the infrastructure cost as well.
Okay.
Now, is what the minister is proposing as the infrastructure cost and the fee, is that a good fee? Our view is that both the cost that the minister proposes, which is 2 billion rand to build it, as well as the fee that the minister proposes to charge, is way out of line with what it should cost this infrastructure and is passing on the cost in a way that is unfair. That is sort of a massive price increase. It's a shock to the system. And there are ways, we're not saying that the price shouldn't increase.
Yeah.
There are ways to do it that does not put poor South Africans at risk.
Yeah. Coen, there's also a cheaper option here, R1 for a non-live batch verification. Is that not a viable option?
You know, that is a bit of a red herring.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that the economy is increasingly digital and players like us operate almost everything in real time. We open bank accounts in real time, we do payments in real time, we reset PINs in real time, etc., etc. And so we need the real-time system. The batch system is not that useful for us.
Okay.
It is a system that can work okay for an old generation bank where you go in one day, they check your information overnight and then you come and fetch your card the next day, or they deliver your card to you. But as you know, our customers open their bank accounts in 3 minutes and they get their card printed. if we were to go for the overnight system, that entire customer experience would be broken. The customer would have to go home, come back the next day and fetch their card and incur not only the cost, the extra cost, but also the travel expenses of having to go back and forth to participate in a much poorer customer experience. And that's just one of many examples.
Yeah. I understand that there was a period set aside for comment after the Department of Home Affairs actually withdrew changes that were supposed to come into effect on the 1st of April. What was the tone of that, and did other financial institutions participate? Because, I mean, you talk about the older generation banks where they're fine with the non-live verification, batch verification system. They can do stuff over a longer period of time, whereas you are in real time. What was the tone there?
Yes, so it is true that the minister did consult through the industry bodies. We did participate through SABRIC and made our views clear.
Yeah.
If you compare what the minister proposed on the first round and what they published on Monday, what is very clear is that they ignored our inputs. It looks to us that it was a tick box exercise to say we've consulted, but that certainly our inputs were not considered.
Just lastly, I mean, obviously I understand the cost now to the bank. But now, I mean, you also spoke about, I guess, the kind of indirect costs that, this would have on consumers, where they'd have transport costs and the like. And I'm wondering, could there be then a forcing of the passing on of these costs directly to the actual consumer?
So the way we think about the unit economics of this is that if we provide a service to a customer bank account, let's say to a social grant recipient, that today is profitable because we have worked very hard to build a business and operating model and cost base that makes that customer profitable. And now there's an increase in cost that makes that customer unprofitable. We have two options. Our first option is we increase the fees for the customer, in which case the service starts becoming unaffordable and the customer either uses the bank account less or doesn't use it at all, or we cross-subsidize that customer. So we make money on other customers, and then we use that money to pay for the loss we're making on the social grant customer. The problem with that is that markets don't work that way. Our shareholders will not allow us to continue to serve a segment that we can't serve profitably. So what the minister is doing is actually breaking the model by adding this cost. And so we see people want to talk about how much money banks make and can make banks afford it. That actually misses the point entirely. It's not whether banks have enough money to pay for it. It's whether the segment can be served profitably or not.
All right. And I also did hear your point that this is a public good and should be a public good and should be the responsibility of the government. So, we will see how things carry on moving forward, and hopefully we will not get to a point where that is a set commitment. Thank you so much for your time, Coen. Really appreciate it. That was Coen Jonker, co-founder and CEO of TymeBank.